Now call on Stuart Stevenson. Minister, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. Let me try and deal with as many points that members have raised as I possibly can in the limited time. Clearly, Alison McInnes believes that all interventions on roads, and STPR is of course surface transport, not merely roads, should be in the STPR. Not true unless she is advocating, as she now appears to be, the abolition of the regional transport partnerships. Peter Peacock, let me just draw you back to some of the numbers about the Elgin traffic situation. If we take the extremes of the positions, we could have as few as 3,000 vehicles of the 20,227 vehicles a day that are going through Elgin diverted to the bypass. That clearly focuses on the fact that it isn't simply a trunk road intervention that needs to be developed. It is precisely because of the varying views that there currently are that we are engaging with Hightrans, we are engaging with the Council to work out what the right interventions for Elgin are. Interventions are needed. That is absolutely recognised. Peter Peacock also appeared to suggest that the TLR might resolve issues at the roundabout adjacent to Cally Jagg's ground. I'm really not quite clear why that is. Mary Scanlon said she was holding the government to account, and she properly identified that that is the job of opposition. I have no problem of any kind with that. I do, however, say that engagement in the issues, such as in Elgin, to work out what actually is the right solution is the mature way to go forward. Charlie Gordon posed the question, what's happening in the next 5 or 6 years, and then talked about Son of Crossrail. It's another of these ones where there are various numbers. One of the things that we have done that will inform the meeting that will take place in the next few weeks has been to commission some research work from Jacobs to look at the capacity there is in the Glasgow stations, to look at the capacity on some of the rail network as it approaches Glasgow. And I think there's some very useful work which will enable SPT and ourselves to work out what the strategic long-term way of developing Son of Crossrail or Crossrail Plus or whatever we choose to call it. The rolling stock being too long, perhaps if I misled in the cross-party group, I should be clear. The new rolling stock is 23 metres as against the 20 metres. We're looking at a future where we will have 8 carriages of 23 metres. It's under those circumstances that the ability there presently is at Glasgow Central to sometimes put 3 trains at a platform is diminished to putting 1 train. It's not that we can't get the trains in, it's that it affects the overall capacity for a number of trains. And I know that those who are engaged in this will recognise that that is an issue that has to be dealt with. Lewis MacDonald, I will answer very briefly. He brought forward a miasma of obfuscation, distortion, misrepresentation, pusillanimous persiflage, economy of memory, of facts and of explanation. It'll be done. We will pay for it. The people of Aberdeen will be duly grateful. No, he will not. He's got 5 minutes and I don't have. Jim Tolson described the STPR as a thin document. It's 3,800 pages, for heaven's sake. He's given the game away. He hasn't actually read the thing. And then he went on to say there's a 60-mile-an-hour limit north of the Forth Bridge. Actually, the first 60-mile-an-hour limit on the A90 or any of the roads connected to it north of the bridge is at the delimit sign at Dyce Airport north of Aberdeen. If he thinks that's going to affect things, I'm afraid he's actually, even that's wrong. You're quite right, I'm wrong. It's north of Inverurie. It certainly isn't north of the bridge. I think, let's deal in facts, not hypotheses. This government is absolutely committed to bringing forward the projects in the Strategic Transport Projects Review. I look for support in the approach that we are taking with optimism at 5 o'clock. We will be supporting what the Tories have to say in their amendment. It makes sense. No one else should look forward to our support.